Welcome to Commanders Daily, everybody. I'm Bob Matthews. This is your one-stop shop for everything going on with the Burgundy and Gold. Don't forget, hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss a day of our coverage. Training camp is in the books. Commanders had a little bit of a lighter practice yesterday. They've got Wednesday off, and then they get a walkthrough on Friday. Believe it or not, we are now just 10 days as we record this, 10 days away from the preseason opener against the New England Patriots. And don't forget, they're going to have joint practices with the Pats next week. We start out, as always, with that long-running soap opera we've had in D.C. all year that we call as the contract turns. Terry McLaurin continuing his hold-in again on Tuesday, stayed inside the practice facility until practice was almost done, then came out and signed autographs for fans. This was another open practice for season ticket holders on Tuesday. Again, Terry's still not under contract. The latest we have, and again, it's all, it's all innuendo, hearsay, and, what people think are going on. Adam Schefter reporting earlier this week that Terry wants something north of $35 million. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, but if the Commanders are offering anything less than 30, that's not going to happen either. We've talked about it before, but the thing about it is, and what makes this such an interesting standoff, is the fact that McLaurin's under contract, and if he doesn't play, his contract doesn't accrue. He doesn't gain the year of service time that he needs in order to, next year, become a free agent. Although, the club will retain control of him next year with possibly a franchise tag. But again, that's going to put him well north of $37 or $38 million, at that point. But in order to qualify for that, again, he's got to play. Got to play at least 6 games. I don't see Terry McLaurin sitting out 12 weeks of the season. I just don't see that happening. And the thing about it is, even though the Commanders, retain control of him for this year and possibly another one, if they're offering less than 30, that is, that doesn't make a lot of sense either. Yes, I understand. Terry McLaurin's 29 right now. He's going to turn 30 later in the season. His cap hit this year is $25 million. An incredibly large amount of money to all of us, but when you're talking about NFL football players, specifically wide receivers, fact of the matter is the market has just been reset, and it's reset for players of McLaurin's caliber of well over $30 million a year. I think the two sides are going to have to compromise somewhere around 32 or 33 million, and they're going to have to guarantee 3 years of that contract. It's just what they're going to have to do because, again, as we have said before, you, if you're Adam Peters, cannot walk down the hall to the vending machine, stick $1 in it, and press G1 and get another number one wide receiver to come out. I understand that Terry McLaurin is not Justin Jefferson or T. Higgins or Jamar Chase or anybody like that, but he's the best you've got, and you can't get anybody to replace him. So you're going to have to pay that money, especially considering the fact that you have given all these veterans these short-term deals because you're trying to go for it while Jaden Daniels is still on his rookie contract. So at some point, they're going to have to, the two sides, come to a compromise on this and get McLaurin back on the field. We'll see what happens. Might be waiting. Originally I thought it was going to be as training camp started. This could go into the second week of August before we get a resolution on it. Stadium update for you. Tuesday and Wednesday. The D.C. City Council is having public hearings, and they will hear on Wednesday from both Mayor Muriel Bowser and from representatives from the Commanders. These public hearings are right before the first vote on the stadium bill, which will come up this Friday. Now, there has to be 2 of them, and both have to pass by a 2/3 majority. You're also getting an additional council member that's being sworn in here in a few weeks. You're going to need 8 votes to pass the bill in the first round of voting. The second time it happens, you're going to have 9 votes. I don't think this is a problem, though, because I seriously doubt, and I am not an expert on City Council President Phil Mendelson at all, but I seriously doubt that Council President Mendelson would have scheduled this vote if he didn't know for certain that he had the votes he needed to get it passed. He just wasn't going to do that. It's not a politically smart thing for him to do in that case. So I think he has the votes. This is all pretty much just pro forma. We're going to get a vote on Friday. It's going to pass. We're going to get another one sometime in September. That's going to pass. And they are going to break ground on the new RFK Stadium, which is pretty cool. Power rankings have come out yet again because this is the season of lists. And The Athletic has got the Commanders all the way up at number 6. Ahead of some pretty decent NFC teams, one of them namely being the Detroit Lions. Thought that was surprising to see them ranked that high, but it just goes to show you once again how much of a quarterback-driven league this has become. When you have a generational quarterback like Jaden Daniels is, he makes up for literally every other shortcoming that you have on the field. And, we saw this in practicality, not just in D.C. last year. Same thing in Kansas City. I mean, their wide receivers didn't have a good year. Travis Kelce didn't have that good of a year. And the offensive line didn't have that good of a year yet, because they have Patrick Mahomes, they made it to another Super Bowl. Now, I'm not trying to say that Jaden Daniels is Mahomes yet, but that is the caliber of quarterback that everybody is expecting him to play like this year. And when was the last time we were able to say that about a QB in D.C.? Yeah, it's been a while. All right, finally, let's close it on up with some viewer mail. So glad that you guys are dropping comments on the site, and I appreciate it. I really do. At Maxwell Marlin 880, commenting on Luke McCaffrey, who we talked about earlier in the week, saying Luke has sneaky quickness and excellent hands, was open many times last year and not seen. Jaden knows this and is working on that exact thing. And, of course, McCaffrey is getting plenty of time in practice without Terry McLaurin in there. Thank you, as always, for the comments. Please drop one or two in the box below. We will read them on the air. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Remember, like the wise man once said, if you're out on your bike tonight, as always, do wear white.